Today I'm going to walk you through one of Excel's built-in features, subtotals, and along the way I'll introduce you to some tips and tricks in terms of what you can do with it and quick methods for doing various things. Okay, so what I've got on here is a very basic file showing sales data split by the different areas of sales for 100 sites. So site names, different brands. First thing I'm going to do, the data's set up well because we've just got one header at the top, no spaces within the data, so it's one solid region which Excel will recognise. So what I'm going to do with it first is to sort the data. So on the Home tab we have Sort and Filter, sort A to Z on column B, so brand 1, brand 2, brand 3, etc. Then on the Data tab, to the very far right hand side, we have the subtotal feature. If we click on that, it asks us what change in which column you want to insert a sum. In this case we want to insert it after every change of brand because we've sorted in that order. We want to use the sum, and we're actually going to add subtotals to each of the 4 sales numeric values. And actually I'm going to put it against brand as well, and I'll explain that shortly. Press OK. What Excel has done then is it's inserted 2 things. It's inserted this outline mode to the left hand side showing 1, 2, 3, showing 3 different levels of summary. So number 1 is the grand total, so that is summarising the 100 sites. Number 2 shows the individual brand subtotals within that. And number 3 is the full data, including the subtotals. The reason I put 1 into brand, so you can see in this cell what that's doing, is at the moment just coming up with 0. But if we highlight that whole column, we can change that formula in the cell. So we use the 2 keys, Control and H, which is find and replace. And what we want to find is we want to find 9 comma, which is the subtotal syntax for sum, and replace it with 3 comma, which is the syntax for count. So if we replace that, we now get a subtotal 3, which shows the 100 sites and puts in a subtotal for each in terms of a count, which is generally helpful. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to feature on the subtotal by brand. There are various ways of doing it. This first method is to concentrate on one row in particular and then use that format to copy to the others. The problem when you've got things filtered out like this is you can quite easily format the underlying data, which is something we want to avoid. So if I just highlight the first row, so brand 1 total, and I make this, say, let's make it yellow, I'll middle align it because I'm going to make the row bigger. Because I've only got one row highlighted, if I right click I'll see row height there. Make that 25, which is double, so that stands out. I'll bold the whole line, and I'll also put a top border in terms of a subtotal. Okay, now to copy this to the other cells, I'm going to highlight the cells that I want to copy and then double click the format painter. The reason I'm double clicking that is because it will format the next row, and then if you can see the icon, it's maintaining those formats to copy to the other individual lines. If you just click the format painter once, it does it once and then reverts back to normal. So if we just press escape now to come out of the format painter so it doesn't paint the formats anywhere else, and just open up to check, yes, the underlying data is still in the original format, so now our subtotals are just those in yellow. The only thing therefore that remains to do is to make the rows all 25 height like we've done with that first one. So what we can do here is highlight the rows. If we right click now, row height is available in terms of setting the row height. But if I did that now, it would all the underlying data would also set to be 25, which we don't want. So what we need to do there is Alt semicolon again, just to select the visible cells, and then the right click will not have the row height available now. So we've got to do that on the Home tab in the Format section at the top, row height. If we make that 25, you can see it's changed all those. Just to check that the underlying data has not been affected by what we've been doing to the subtotals, if we click on our outline here, number 3, it shows us all the data, and if we scroll through you can see only the subtotals have been highlighted, making it easier to view the report. I'll leave you with my contact details should you wish to get in contact with any queries or comments. Thanks for watching. Cheers.